Welcome to the Jamesburg Presbyterian Church. Today is Wednesday, July the 21st, 2021. Today I'm going to start by actually performing a piece for you. It's a red scarf I have here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the scarf up like this. I'm going to tie a knot into it like that, and then untie it like that, and what happens is the knot actually comes off the scarf. Let's try that again. I'm going to wind this up again. I'm going to bring it over my arm like so. I'm going to get in there, tie it like that, it comes apart, and take the knot off this silk. And then one more time, let's do it one more time. 3 times is the charm. Bring it together like this. There's the knot, there you see it, and just by pulling it like that, the knot comes off the silk like that. Now what happens when you take 3 knots off the silk? Well, what happens is you get 3 holes. This is a classic piece called Knots Off Silk. When I first saw it performed a number of years ago, I was at a dealer show. And the magician is a friend of mine. He was performing this trick with the idea that people from the audience would see it, be impressed, and buy it. Not only that, they would buy the video on how to do it. When I saw it, I was immediately impressed. I was also influenced by everybody else sitting around me going, ooh, ah, gotta have that. So, of course, I had to have it. Don't remember exactly how much I paid for it, but I know that the square usually costs at least $25. So I paid at least $25, maybe even $35 or $45. I don't think I would have gone to $50, but I was so impressed with this piece that I had to have it. Then I took it in, learned how to do it, performed it a zillion times in front of a mirror. I was still pretty impressed with it. Took it to one of my shows, put it in my show, performed it before an audience, and everyone sat there with no impression on their face. How could they not be impressed with this amazing magical trick? How could they not be moved, persuaded that this is the greatest thing they have seen since sliced bread? But what happened is nobody was very impressed. So I thought maybe it was just the way I performed it. So I went back, watched the video again, performed it a zillion times in front of a mirror again, and then brought it into at least 2 more of my shows and realized this isn't that good. There's some problems with it. For the first thing, I can't come out and immediately show you the scarf because it already has holes in it. So people come to the assumption that the holes were there all the time. Maybe it's they don't know exactly how I get the loops onto this, but the loops were probably in my hand, and I just, when I tied it together, grabbed one of the loops, and if you come to that conclusion, you're pretty right. So I took it out of my show and put it in a Ziploc bag, which is how I store these kinds of props, and it's been there ever since, until now. I brought it out, watched the video, performed it a million times, and then brought it here today to make a point. Point is, sometimes we jump to a conclusion about things before we think them through. Like I jumped to the conclusion that this was the greatest trick since the water trick or whatever, and I had to have it. I immediately had to have it. And found out that once I thought through it, there are a number of problems with it that can't be overcome. Not being able to show you the square from the beginning. So the obvious conclusion is the holes were always there. Hopefully the audience won't think about that. We do this all the time, especially when we make judgments about people. Sometimes we make judgments about people on a very fast look at that person. Maybe the judgment is made on the basis of gender or age or race or national heritage. We make judgments about people without getting to know them, without actually sitting down and learning about their character or learning about their values without getting to know them at all. We just make a judgment. Sometimes we jump on a bandwagon with other people We see this in the political arena, where everybody from the political party I don't belong to is stupid, and maybe even worse. We do that. We're into that age of making fast conclusions. That is, we're buying knots off silk without thinking through what it is that we're doing. We also do this with philosophies. Sometimes we are a part of a political party because, well, that's the one all my friends belong to, or that's the one that my family has always belonged to, so why wouldn't I be part of that? Without giving any thought to what the political party stands for, or without even finding out. Or we join a political party because we think we know what the other political party stands for without really actually sitting down and knowing. We don't read articles. We don't. How many of you have read anything, even a quick article, let alone a book about postmodernism? You've heard me rail about postmodernism and the deconstruction that comes with that cultural philosophy. How many of you have read it? You're being influenced every single day by the television you watch, by the things that you read, by this postmodern era, and yet we haven't sat down and read it. We haven't sat down to examine what it is that we're being pushed to think and do. All we're doing is we're buying knots off silk, magic pieces that, when you think about it, and you realize they don't work, and you put it into a plastic Ziploc bag and put it away, having spent and made an investment in it that is pretty ridiculous. So I want you to think about how we make judgments about people, how we make judgments about philosophies, how we make judgments about the culture, what bandwagons are we jumping onto simply because it's what everybody else is doing, without ever reading or learning about the person or the philosophy or the cultural perspective, without doing any of that kind of homework. Don't go there. Instead, get to know people, make judgments based upon who they actually are, not who you think they are, or not based on who everybody else thinks they are. Make judgments about what you've read about the cultural philosophy. Make judgments about what you know for a fact in terms of political philosophies. So that's the devotional for today. I will see you soon. Stay well, stay safe, and please do read something about postmodernism. Thank you very much. Bye.